Greetings all. If it's Wednesday, it's Hump Day Hangover. I'm Bart, the Success Educator, and today's topic is prioritize people. So, grab yourself a cup of coffee, or how about a cocktail, and let's get started. This is Hump Day Hangover. Now, we've talked about this before. Jim Rohn teaches that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And along this journey we've taken together here in Hump Day Hangover, you've been working to identify and improve on what we call your top 5. And what we know is that a well-designed life cannot be fulfilled without making healthy relationships a priority. So let's think about that today. Today's topic, as with all, come from my best-selling book, My Moment to Succeed. Go out to my website, successeducator.com, and you can find a link there to Amazon where you can purchase it. Also available in a number of local independent bookstores. But back to our topic of prioritizing people. Co-workers, family, friends, acquaintances are all part of your relationship world. Now, they may be independent of each other, or you may find commonalities between them. Those interactions you have collectively influence your quality of life. And don't forget the interactions you make on social media. There's actually now a real psychological study that shows how social media influences not only your behavior, but your interactions with others. But as always, only you can determine how influential people are in your life. If someone wants to influence you, they cannot influence you without your permission. When you experience struggles in your life, you can also expect those struggles in your relationship. For example, if things become tense or start to unravel at work, odds are you may find interacting with co-workers strained. And that same strain, those same struggles, may also spill over into your home and social life. And the same is true when you have issues at home. You may find productivity at work begins to suffer. So how do you really work through all this? Well, prioritizing people often requires setting boundaries. When you prioritize, here's what you're doing. First of all, you're making decisions. Secondly, you're establishing limits. You're making arbitrary exceptions. And finally, you're also determining the characteristics you want most in you. Now tonight when you journal, we'll go over this later, but be thinking about this. Tonight when you journal, I want you to list the 5 people you most associate with at work, and then the 5 people you most associate with outside of work. And it's important to list the 5 you most associate with, not the 5 you want to most associate with. That's what you're working toward. And beside each name, I want you to write down 3 qualities you admire the most in these 5 people, and the 3 qualities you also find not quite so desirable. And then study this list and make notes next to each thing you've listed, justifying your observation. And from this list, then, I want you to determine which qualities you find in yourself. Ask yourself how much you truly enjoy each person's company. How often do you make them feel supported, and how often do they elevate you? Both of you should feel joy when you interact, even when disagreeing. That is the basis of respect. Now, I want you to be real bold and do something real courageous. Ask 3 to 5 people to anonymously do the same for you. Ask them about those 3 qualities they see in you, and the 3 things not so desirable. How did you measure up? Are you becoming the person you thought you were? Let's talk a moment about social life. If and when you neglect your social life, you also neglect opportunities for constant learning and growth. By making other people a priority and surrounding yourself with those who challenge you, you continually expand your world. Prioritizing people may be challenging, and it may seem somewhat selfish. So ask yourself, am I neglecting myself at the expense of others? Learning to say no is critical. What it does is it reinforces the value you place on you. Now this is mandatory. Your top 5 must include people who notice when you are in fact neglecting yourself at the expense of others. They must also be in alignment with what you expect of yourself and what they expect of themselves. Mutual respect gains recognition to individual worth, and when it does, it leads to increased energy and vibrancy, you being healthier and happier, you being more on purpose, and what this does is it puts you in alignment with your core values. That's when that alignment starts to take place. Let's also talk a moment about meditation. I don't mean sitting there going, I mean taking time to reflect. Each morning and prior to bed, I want you to dedicate time to meditate and reflect your wants, your dreams, and your deserves. Not your desires, your deserves. Then I want you to verbally articulate to the universe what you deserve. Articulate your rationale. And reinforce your commitment to manifesting your dreams as reality. And you do this by prioritizing what it takes to make those dreams happen. I want you to also invite your top 5 to be a part of that journey. Encourage them to be both critics and supporters. Now initially this may seem like too much work, but we all have the same 525,600 minutes in a year. Prioritize your minutes as you prioritize your people. If it is important, you make the time. If it's not, you make excuses. You determine how you spend those minutes. So I want you to constantly discover and commit to making time for yourself. Prioritize people by prioritizing your results. Let's once again look at the journaling activities. I want you to list 5 people you most associate with at work. What are 3 qualities you admire most of each person? What are 3 qualities you find the least desirable? And which qualities or thereof do you find in yourself? And then list the 5 people you most associate with outside of work. And once again, 3 qualities you admire, 3 qualities not so desirable, and which qualities or lack thereof do you find in yourself? And then finally, ask yourself how much you truly enjoy each person's company. How often do you make them feel supported? How often do they evaluate you? And don't forget that gratitude list. List 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. Now today's Bardism is one of my absolute favorites. In fact, I just heard it last week and I have adopted it. And it comes from one of my very favorite shows on television. You know, I don't watch much television, but I don't miss this one. I DVR it. It comes from Randall Pearson on This Is Us. Randall says, choosing our people is the closest we come to controlling our destiny. So thank you for spending a few moments with me. Hit that subscribe button below. Click on the bell to make sure you receive notifications. Go out to my website, successeducator.com, where you'll find a link to all my social media. Follow me out there on social media. Make comments. I will be glad to share them here on this video cast. And of course, visit the Success Store, where you can find all kinds of really cool gift items. And remember, what comes to mind when someone mentions your name? That is your brand. So until next Wednesday, this has been Hump Day Hangover. Ciao!